Fox 16 News at 9, covering Russellville, Clinton, Little Rock, and all of Central Arkansas.
Welcome back, everyone. I host an internet show. It's called Terrell Talk, where I interview newsmakers that I find interesting. So tonight, here's a segment of Terrell Talk on Fox 16 News with a man who's not only making news, but he's making history as well in Little Rock. Welcome, Mayor-elect Frank Scott Jr.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure you're excited.
Just a tad bit.
Just a tad bit, okay. You know what, last night, one of the things that really stood out for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people who were watching, was your victory speech. You paused as you stood there for, I counted it, 40 seconds before you said anything, holding the microphone, looking as though you were getting ready to say something, but it would never come out. I'm wondering what was going through your mind right before you said, Little Rock has never looked so good, or something like that you said.
It was a moment and a pause of appreciation, humility, and just to be totally honest that this is real. And when you get an opportunity to see your entire city, young, old, white, black, brown, all races, all cultures, all sexual orientations, gender identities, that's Little Rock. And it was just a grateful moment, and I couldn't find words at that point in time, but just to appreciate the moment in time.
Well, we could tell you were definitely taking it all in. It looked very emotional, and obviously it was. The Fraternal Order of Police did not support your campaign. They posted some negative things about you on social media. How will you work with the FOP as well as a police department that seems to be racially divided?
Well, first and foremost, I have the utmost respect, honor, and appreciation to the men and women of the Little Rock Police Department who may or may not be members of the Little Rock Fraternal Order of Police. But that's my first priority, is to always show my gratefulness and appreciation towards them. As it relates to the FOP and the divisive smear tactics that were against my campaign and my character and integrity, I've been extended a lot of grace in my life, as well as mercy, and so I will definitely extend grace and forgiveness. Part of that, that's in the past now. We're looking towards a new future, and I look forward to working with the Little Rock Fraternal Order of Police, as well as all the men and women who wake up every morning to protect not only my life, but your life and in this entire city, which are the men and women of the Little Rock Police Department. So I appreciate them, I respect them, and honor them. As
you know, I interviewed you during your campaign. It was before the general election, and you were talking about a strong mayor form of government. I want to play a soundbite from that actual interview.
Well, I'm not spending the last year and a half running for mayor to cut anybody's ribbon, so I want to make certain that that's very clear from this standpoint. I'm running for the current form of government that we have right now, where the mayor is a chief executive officer, and I will lead as being the chief executive officer.
So, with that said, are you going to try to convince the City Board of Directors to eliminate the city manager position?
Yes. I've been very clear throughout this campaign, both in the general election and the runoff election, that I'm going to advocate for changing of the form of government to a true mayor-council form of government, where we will repurpose the city manager into a chief operating officer, as well as making certain that the city attorney is underneath the mayor as well. And so that's going to be a true mayor-council form of government, as in addition to repurposing the at-large city directors into ward directors. So we want to make certain that we see real change. That's something that I discussed throughout this entire journey, and we're not going to leave from that. That's going to be one of the first orders of business, is that I work with the city board to see if they will join me in changing this form of government. And in the event that they do not, we will work to make certain that we have a petition drive to put it on the ballot for the people to decide.
Okay, you're serious about this. You know, you talk about unity a lot. I mean, that's your battle cry, so to speak. But you said, in addition to that, you said this last night. Take a listen.
But it's not only about unifying our city, it's about securing our communities. But not only about that, we have to make certain that we reach our educational achievement. We have to make certain that we get our school board back yesterday.
Okay, get our school board back. That's not a city issue, that's a state issue. How do you do that?
Well, our most precious assets in this city are our children of the Little Rock School District. and the educators that are teaching those children. And so I want to make certain, as I shared throughout this entire campaign, that a mayor should not be silent as it relates to public schools. And I want to make certain that I'm a strong advocator and a strong negotiator to bring in the Little Rock School District back under local control.
So it's about it's about negotiation. You realize the city doesn't have control. Obviously, it's about negotiating.
Yes, and I'm very happy to have a good relationship, not only with Governor Hutchinson, but as well as with Commissioner Johnny Key. And I've been very clear that I'm going to be working with them to make certain that we get our control back.
First 90 days, what are you going to do?
We have a playbook. Our playbook is right now at frankscottjr.com, where it lays out our opportunity agenda, it lays out our public safety agenda, it lays out our inclusion agenda, as well as many other things, our jobs agenda. And so we want to make certain that we utilize that as a playbook over the next 4 years. And so we'll start there with the first 90 days.
Everyone's talking about this history maker that you've become. The first black mayor elected by popular vote. We know you would be the third black mayor for the city of Little Rock, but this was a popular vote here. When people tell you you've made history because you're a black man, what do you say?
Well, I tried not to think about it. Clearly, the historic moment has not been lost on me, but I first have to always pay homage to Charles Bussey and Lottie Shackelford, because if there's not a Charles Bussey or a Lottie Shackelford, there's no Frank Scott Jr. I do recognize the historical moment, but again, as I've shared throughout the campaign, I didn't run to become the black mayor of Little Rock. I ran to become the mayor of Little Rock, and I'm a true son of this city, and it's just a grateful moment to have this opportunity and this responsibility to lead.
There would be some people who would say, okay, let's face it, this is your first political office. Well, I mean, you were commissioner of highways, but in terms of being an elected politician, this is your first shot at it, and it's a huge one. How do you convince people that you're ready for that?
I do exactly what I did with the Highway Commission, where I stated I didn't deserve the opportunity on the Highway Commission, but I definitely was going to earn it. And so I've earned the right to be the next mayor of Little Rock, and I'm going to continue to outwork any and everyone to make certain that Little Rock is a priority and that we unify the city, that we focus on jobs growth, that we secure our communities.
You know, I have to ask you this because this is probably the last question, but Lottie Shackelford, former mayor of Little Rock, she was right by your side last night. Has she been instrumental in just kind of helping you? And I know when she was mayor, it was a different kind of mayor, it was a different city, but she was an African-American woman who was, quote unquote, the head of Little Rock. I mean, how helpful has she been? She's
been very helpful. She's not only was she by my side last night, she also was by my side on November the 6th. If anyone knows, she was to my left, my mother was to my right. And so Mayor Shackelford has been a great mentor and a senior advisor to me throughout this process.
Okay, you're going to be hiring some new people, obviously. You're going to bring in your own administration and all of that, I'm sure.
Yes.
I won't have you name names yet.
Well, I will definitely don't mind letting you know. We plan on announcing our transition board on December the 10th.
Okay, December 10th. Got that? December 10th. That's when we're going to be looking forward to hearing that. And if you can leak that information to Fox 16 first, we'll take it.
We'll try to.
All right. We appreciate you. All right. Thank you and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right, everybody. And this is what Terrell Talk is all about. You can find my most recent segment right now on fox16.com. It's an interview with Officer Tommy Norman, the guy you see right there, known around the country for his community policing right here in Arkansas.
Well, let's take a closer look at last night's election. Nearly 39,000 votes were cast. 58% went to Scott, 42% to his opponent, Baker Curris. Now, these are the territories won by the candidates in the general election held last night. In the areas won by Warwick Sabin in November, Scott and Curris basically they tied. The difference comes in early voting, where Frank Scott Jr. dominated. He held a 4,500 vote lead in that area. 90 minutes after polls closed, Curris conceded. New at 9, a bill filed today would require Arkansas high schools to offer a journalism class. This comes months after the legislature voted to get rid of the requirement to let each school district decide whether to teach the course. Representative-elect Julie Mayberry also filed legislation to require high schools to incorporate bleeding control training into their health courses. After a big win, the Cowboys look to keep the momentum going this Sunday against the Eagles. Still to come tonight, we talk to our Cowboy insider, Mickey Spagnola, who breaks down why this game could be the turning point for the Cowboys.
And another chilly start to the day as the kids are off to school for tomorrow morning. Clouds coming on in. Not quite as cold as it was this morning, but still pretty chilly out there. The kids will need those heavier coats. Temperatures down into the lower 30s. Less of your forecast coming up.
Because they were already in when they printed.
Yeah, it's good. All I did was add a score. Test, hold on. Test.